Have you ever noticed how watching a video about your own behavior can feel more satisfying than actually changing it? You watch something that explains why you procrastinate, or why you self-sabotage, or why you feel stuck. And for a few minutes, everything makes sense. There's a reason, a pattern, a name for what's been happening, and it feels like progress. But understanding something and resolving something are two completely different processes, and psychology content is designed, accidentally or not, to deliver one while feeling like the other. Here's what's actually happening. When someone explains your behavior back to you in clear terms, your brain experiences something called recognition relief. It's the feeling of being seen, of having your internal experience validated by an external source. That relief is real, but it's also temporary. Because recognition doesn't require change, it just requires accurate observation. You can understand why you avoid difficult conversations and still avoid them. You can know the term for your coping mechanism and still use it every day. The content gives you the feeling of insight without the friction of action. And that's the loop. Every video delivers a small dose of clarity, a moment where things click. And because that moment feels valuable, because it is valuable, it creates the urge to seek it again, not to build on it, just to feel it again. Psychology content often frames understanding as the first step, and it is. But if the first step keeps repeating, it's not a step anymore, it's a place to stand. If this way of thinking makes sense to you, this channel exists for exactly that, not to feel better for a few minutes, but to see the patterns no one else is naming. So why does understanding become its own destination? Because it's easier to watch someone explain your behavior than to sit with the discomfort of actually changing it. Psychology content offers structure, language, and insight. Change offers uncertainty, effort, and time. One of those feels productive immediately, the other one doesn't. And platforms know this. The algorithm doesn't care if you change, it cares if you return. So it learns to serve you more of what feels insightful, not what's useful. And over time, the feed becomes a mirror that reflects your problems back to you in increasingly precise ways, which feels like growth, but it's closer to rumination. None of this makes psychology content bad. The information is often accurate, the insights are often real, but consumption without application turns insight into entertainment. And entertainment doesn't ask anything of you. That's why it's so comfortable to keep watching. There's no test, no moment where you have to prove you understood. You just get to feel like you did. So here's the question that matters. If someone spent a year watching psychology content and a year away from it, which version of them would be different? Not more informed, different. Because information about behavior and change in behavior are not the same thing. One lives in your head, the other lives in your life. You weren't watching to understand yourself better. You were watching to feel like you already had.